This week we'll be completing an animated head turn featuring Monkey D. Luffy from the anime One Piece. Hello everyone, I'm TDO, but feel free to call me Teeds or whatever you like. I am a university animation student. I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but this was a part of an assignment for a hand-drawn animation class I'm currently taking. That being said, I'm obviously not an expert or a master of animation, and neither am I of this technique, so what you will see is not 100% correct. However, in this video I will be going over what I did right and wrong, what I learned from class, and what I learned from my mistakes. Before we dive in, I just want to thank everybody for the past two videos. They gained over 130 or so views collectively as of this recording, and I just really wasn't expecting that, and I most certainly did not expect any subscribers or comments. So to those of you who either watched, commented, and or subscribe, thank you so much. It has motivated me to keep uploading and to keep animating, and hopefully you guys are entertained by these videos or just want to learn alongside me. So again, thank you so much. To those of you who have watched my past videos, you'll know that I like to start up with a warm-up. And for those of you who haven't, I warm up. So for today, I've generated a prompt to draw myself as a mythical or fantastical creature, and I've decided to be a centaur. A horrible decision on my part, as I have no idea on how to draw a horse, as you can see by his very broken legs. We'll forget that this drawing exists, and I'll talk a little bit more about today's animation assignment I'm completing and just give you some more context. Here's what we're doing. I'm completing a head turn with 8 drawings total at varying angles. These angles include a straight on, a 3/4 view, a profile view, and a straight on reversed, so the back of his head, and a couple more. I'm only required to draw a character bust, which is everything above the shoulders. Thankfully, this means I don't have to worry about any of his body, so that's very nice. For this assignment, I chose Luffy from One Piece as the reference model to rotate. That was certainly not chosen for the clicks. I promise I love One Piece. Just kidding. This is my first time watching One Piece. It is due to the live action. To those of you who are die-hard fans, I am so sorry for the sacrilege, but it is a really good Netflix show. I was very surprised by it, and I think I've heard a lot of that same reaction from even die-hard fans. I will be watching the anime because I love anime. Obviously, I'm an animator, so every time I watch the live action, I think about what this could possibly look like in the anime, and yeah, this is part of that interest, drawing the anime version of Luffy and then just watching it. So without further ado, let's actually do this assignment. I started off by just learning how to draw Luffy. I've never actually drawn him before, or any other One Piece character. Like I said, this is my first time even really being interested in any of them. Luckily I don't have to draw his full body. They're very stylized and very cool, but this would have been a way longer assignment. But I do recommend doing it. I still want to do it. For the purpose of this assignment and getting it done on time, let's just get the required stuff out of the way, and if I had more time, I'd have done the full body. After I felt satisfied with my ability to draw him by tracing and trying to recreate his features, I moved on to blocking in his structure to prepare myself for the next step. I did this just by identifying the simple shapes on his body that I can easily repeat and draw from different angles and in different orientations. You could be more simple than I was, and I actually regret not being more simple myself, but on top of that, I'm actually adding in some markers on his face to indicate the features and not just drawing them straight out. Next, we're moving on to building out the structure thanks to the work done in the practice round, along with that reference you see on screen and the guides. One guide you might have noticed is that strange circle guide that resembles a summoning circle. This was something I learned from class, and it helps when lining up the drawing at different angles because there's marks at the profile, straight on, 3/4 view, and a couple other views that I ended up using, like, you know, the eighth views. But I'll talk a little bit later on something that's pretty important that I missed in this guide, but it helps sell the 3D nature of this piece, and I just failed to do it. Another guide is that midpoint guide. If you notice, there's like blue lines at the center. These are created using TV Paint's guide feature to create a vertical line and a horizontal line that are both centered in those orientations to indicate the midpoint. This was supposed to help me draw just with that straight line in the middle. However, it wasn't actually that necessary. What I should have done is use TV Paint's guideline feature to create a vanishing point and slice the cylinder from my little summoning circle to create planes in that cylinder created by it to have those features follow these planes. This would ensure that 3D space is appropriately taken into account and would have made that all of these drawings much more accurate. This assignment was actually critiqued and turned in. However, when my professor was critiquing it, he didn't mention any of this in his feedback, which I was pretty surprised by because I realized it. But I guess I faked it pretty well. He was more caught up on Luffy's hat, which you'll see exactly why he would be later. I had so many issues with this hat, which could have been helped with just practicing it out a little bit more and building the structure of the hat, which I just completely skipped. Building out the structure took a long time. This footage is actually sped up 2000%. But it's all necessary. You should definitely be taking the longest amount of time building up this structure, because the better structure you have, the easier everything else is, and you basically get to trace later on. And we're at that point now. I'm gonna just start cleaning it up. So I apologize because there's like a huge jump in time here. I had been doing parts of this assignment in class, obviously, and parts just like on campus. I cannot record on those computers, so I don't have footage. So I apologize for that, but all I did was rough in some shape and face features to clean up the structure a little bit more. So even when skipping that, there's still so much footage left. So I tried something out a little different this video. I scripted everything up until this point to focus a little bit more. I would tend to ramble, and I just wanted to talk on some specific stuff. So let me know if that works. I like just talking off the dome piece, but sometimes I just do too much. So I don't know. Right now, actually, it doesn't look like I'm doing anything, but because I'm cleaning up, I wanted a nicer pen to work with, and I noticed that when I shrunk the default 2B pencil using TV Paint's soft feature, that face on the right has a lot of nice line work, and that's not what it looked like originally. So altering the 2B to make it smaller had such a nice effect that I tried to recreate it. So that's what you saw me doing, and I ended up on the default pen with just different settings. I think it's constant size, but pressured power. I can double check, but that's what worked for me. When you're cleaning up, I think you should do the same. Just find a nice inking pen. I could have definitely inked this, quote unquote, ink it with the 2B pencil. That wasn't anything required in the assignment itself. So, but just for like inking practice sake, I tried to just have a nicer pen. I also kind of tried to clean up with like really smooth lines, but I did give up a little bit at the end because I was getting tired and it was like 1 in the morning. So I just kind of did my normal scratchy routine. So hopefully it's fine. I thought it would look pretty decent. So let me know what you think. Also, before anyone says anything about the accuracy of Luffy, I know it doesn't look exactly like Luffy. He's got a much like smaller face. I'd say the style of his face is like he resembles a frog instead of like all of the One Piece character design work. They all just kind of have like a frog like essence to their face, which I think is great. I love it. I love the style of One Piece, and it's been so nice to actually watch the anime, even though it's so long, and that's the reason I've been avoiding it. It's pretty worth it. I think I love the action in the anime. Anime action is always better, but that's just me. I love anime action. I think one of my favorite action animes so far has been One Piece, but then again, I haven't watched that many animes. I haven't seen Full Metal Alchemist. I haven't seen Blue Exorcist. I haven't seen Bleach. I've seen some of Naruto, but not everything. So if you guys have any recommendations on some animes with some great fighting animation, put me on. I would love to hear some more. Right now would have been the best time because I'm in class and working, so maybe not now, but I can sneak in a little bit of anime watching. You might also notice that even though I'm drawing something that moves in space over time, typically when you do something like that, you'll want an onion skin or in this case for TV Paint, the light table feature on. Um, However, I have it off. If you don't know what an onion skin or light table feature is, it just shows you the previous and or future frames while you're drawing your current frame, usually in some kind of transparent colored layer. So I would see the previous or forthcoming layers in this view. I have it off because I think it's best to just be able to flip. You see me going like back and forth between two images a lot, and that was via the recommendation of my professor. And just as I got accustomed to working in this style and doing this kind of technique, it just proved to be the superior option. It just allowed me to see the features and kind of basically test animate it. Kind of how you would have done it in the traditional old days, where you would have a paper and you would flip back and forth and just see how it looks. A certain thing that you miss somehow when onion skinning, I don't know why exactly you don't get that sense, that accuracy when using the onion skin as compared to using a flipping feature. But whatever it is, I'm flipping, and I recommend you flip too. So yeah, that's huge recommendation. Start flipping. Here you're seeing me regret not spending more time on the structure and building out the character a little better. You'll see me erase the structure and edit the structure layers that I had previously completed because they weren't accurate. One, to the actual the drawings in my reference sheets, and also just not accurate in space. You know, I just didn't do them that well. For instance, One Piece characters, I don't know what it is about their heads, but they just seem so long. I mean, the the space from the nose to the ear, which is about where they have the midpoint of the entire head, is as far as you have the ear to the back of the head, which I it's kind of true. I don't, for whatever reason, when I was looking at the reference sheet, it just felt immensely large. It just felt like the head was so much longer than it was just head on. It just felt like their heads are narrow but super long. But yeah, I had to fix it. You see me multiple times go back and forth on stuff that I had already done. So like I said, I did kind of take a long time on the structure, but I was doing certain things improperly. If I were to do them again, I definitely would have done a lot of stuff differently. So learn from my mistakes before you mess up yourself. So you'll see I'm already having this battle with a hat. I tried drawing it a couple times. I think I tried, I'm not sure if it was in the recording, but I think I just tried just straight up drawing it with no structure, just trying to see how well I could get that hat in there. But obviously that didn't work for, you know, the reason that you shouldn't do something without a structure like that unless you've been doing this for years and years and years. What ended up working for me was just having those two circles. That circle that represented the actual hat that contained his head, and then the oval that represented the brim of the hat moving in 3D space. So I think it worked out pretty well. I think it believably moves and rotates in 8 drawings. The only complaint I have, and you'll notice this when I move the camera a little bit further up, is that the top of the hat does not meet his head. And what I mean by that is that line that indicates that the hat has reached the brim is further back than his forehead, which means that if his head was actually in a hat that looked like that, his head would be like, you know, chopped and as if you sliced it and pushed it back. So that's obviously not realistic, and I just didn't do it correctly and didn't catch it when animating it. I didn't even notice it until we were in class, so boo-hoo. Gotta try again. So this is it. I managed to complete the project. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff I had to redo, but I'll just let you see the final render. Here it goes. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you learned something. If not, I hope it was just cool to watch my process. As I said, I'm a student. I'm learning, and so there's a lot of things I got to work on, but I still like it. I think this went well, and I'm glad I did it. I'm also learning a lot about YouTube, so let me know what works and doesn't about this video. Again, does scripting work, or did you prefer my ramblings, or do you prefer there to be no audio at all, just some music, maybe some labels, and just play the damn fucking clip? So let me know what you think. Again, thank you so much for all the support. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.